Hey guys, catch a seat here with some 500 reg tables and one table of 200 soon. And gonna keep an eye out on the reg table lobbies as well, see if I can get some more decent looking reg tables up and replace the 200. Tempted to 4-bet for value with this ace queen, but I don't quite have a big enough sample on this guy to do so. So I'm just gonna call. It's also nice playing pots post flop deep stacked in position against recreationals. We are going to be continuing here with the Queen of Hearts. And just going to be folding this turn if he keeps barrel. Yep. Pretty easy fold now on the turn. Had a somewhat interesting hand here on the 500 reg table, where I rolled very aggressive on multiple streets, and I'm wondering if so I'll explain my thought process. So on the flop, I think our hand nearly always wants to check back. I thought if there's any king queen suited that wants to bet, it's going to be the spades, because when we have the spades and it's the ace of spades, like we're never just dead to like ace 5 of spades. Like if we have king queen of clubs and he has ace 5 of clubs, we're dead. So if there's one that wants to stab, I think it's going to be the spades. And then I rolled like a 5, so I went for a stab. Half pot's the only size I'm using here as my stab. So yeah, never gonna try and make sizes here. This is just gonna be the only one I use. And we're relatively polar when we use this. We're saying we have a decent ace or better. Just gonna keep betting this king queen. He calls. 10 is the 6 of spades. Now we almost always want to check this back on the turn, because basically if we bet and get jammed on, we have to fold, and that's folding out a ton of equity. And just going to keep betting this king queen. Mixing this ace 4 bank, 3 bank sometimes. However, again, I rolled extremely aggressive, and like having studied these spots a bit more recently, like sometimes the flush draws seem to mix in. I'm wondering if this combo of flush draw ever will. It seemed like a good one, because it'd be even more of a waste if we had like king 10 of spades to bet fold. This is close. I think it's just about a call. King 10 of spades I'd never be betting with the gut shot as well, because bet folding that would be just even more equity. And I really like stab with this ace 4. I'm going to do it pretty often. I think I like 3/4. Rolling a rare stab here. Gonna bet this ace 4 on the roll I had. Pretty nice hand to be betting. Gut shot, overcard. Not much showdown value. Even in these positions, not much showdown value. I think we just have to bluff this one on the river. Having an ace. Yeah, just our card removal effects seem pretty decent. I guess I just check this ace 10. We have some showdown in these positions. You can check back a hand like king 10 for sure. And thinking about sizing here, I think this hand wants to do both. I want to have a normal size and an overbet. Gonna go for the overbet on what I rolled. Trying to think if I ever want to check raise this ace 10. Not gonna do it. But yeah, so rolled aggressive here on the turn. My thoughts were I would bet this 20% of the time, and I rolled like something in the low teens. So I went for it. And then the Jack River. Just gonna call this Queen Jack. Went for the jam, just pure. Pretty impossible for us to have a worse hand than this. Even though our blockers are obviously not amazing. Blocking the spades. Our range could potentially have some smallies on the 10, but our hand obviously never going to do it. And unfortunate when we got called, and we got the fold here with the king queen, but I'm interested to see if my play is solver approved on that one. And didn't get it through the ace 4. What do you call with 10-8? Seems like an ambitious call. He's clearly thinking I'm over bluffing that spot, which potentially I am. Nice call, nice call. So the 8's obviously very good. The 10 of hearts doesn't seem great, though he's probably thinking I'm disciplined enough. This actually 3-bets a decent amount. Thinking that I'm gonna just shut down my bluffs that contain the 10 of hearts, so it's actually not a bad blocker on the river. If I am shutting down like my 10x in hearts bluffs on the river, which I probably am. So actually, yeah, seems like a pretty reasonable / good bluff catch from our opponent. Gonna start with a c-bet here with the a6. I think I'm just folding these 7s against the 3x when he's not full stacked. With the ace of hearts, I don't actually mind barreling this some of the time. I'm not going to do it pure. But it's nice having an overcard to the king and also not blocking his ace-x, suited ace-x floats. Like he's going to float all his ace-x with backdoor flush draw on the flop. So and then fold a lot of it on the turn. So having the ace of hearts definitely pretty nice hand to consider barreling. And river. I'm pretty lost on river, I won't lie. I don't like having this. I mean, he'd bluff if he had a 6 or 1 and 6s. On a 76, I'm just going to give up and accept my fate of losing the hand. A6 is actually a really common 3-bet pre. One of the most common kind of trashy hand 3-bets. This flop, I'm using small over bet or check. Gonna bet this hand pretty much always with these suits. I'm also going to reset my zoom table because the time bank's pretty low. So this hand actually is meant to fold the majority of the time on the button, but given the big blinds are recreational, for some reason I can't I can't actually get the labels to work. They're just not applying to this guy. And I really like this adjustment from Bloody Mary that he's opening 3x into a guy who's playing 30, 38, 14. Something I've been doing a lot more myself. Now I'm playing more reg tables, mostly because I want to play more 500, and 500 Zoom's not running that often, and when it does, it's like so reggy. Like, it's just unbelievably reggy. So yeah, been playing more reg tables, and been using different sizes, like kind of centered around the recreational who the table will be running around. So for example, here we've got a recreational who's playing very tight, 18-12. So I'd perhaps even size down my opens against him from all positions. Whereas on this table, we've got a guy who's playing way too many hands, but also very passively. So definitely want to size up and also just play with a tighter range, because you're not getting the folds, but you want to, so you don't need to open the more marginal ones, but also you're not going to get 3-bet. So when you have your good hands, you want to use larger sizes to build the pot up pre-flop, because he's playing too passively as well pre-flop. Although, I mean, 10% 3-bet so far, so perhaps he isn't. And I've got to add another zoom. Yeah, I'll have to look up what my betting range is on my mouse just disconnected on this river. I'm, to be honest, not quite sure how I'm meant to be constructing my bluffing range on that in this spot. Interesting, this guy's playing flats against 2.5x on the button. I can see this hand stabbing sometimes. On a 67, just going to check back. And I'm probably going to leave the reg table and just boot up another zoom. So this guy's playing way too few hands so far, so I'm going to make a bit of a loose open. And 9-8, we will do some delaying. We'll also check this hand back some of the time. Gonna check it back this time. And I think we're probably going to be bluffing river. Do I get to bluff this pure? I think so, especially having a club seems pretty nice. We're absolute bottom of range. Most hands that have showdown as bad as this are going to have at the turns like a decent amount. So I'm just going to check range on this 8 deuce 3. And definitely going to do some check raising with our queens. Is this guy recreational? I have no idea. On a 40, I will check raise. I'm just going to leave this table. Hopefully that Walmart's guy is not a recreational, otherwise I've made a small mistake. Could potentially do some betting for small, however I roll very passive. Oh, my mouse is DC'd again. This is awkward. There we go, we're back. On a 92, I'm going to check. Probably actually should be folding that given the button's going to be calling too much. So these marginal hands aren't going to perform like this is a 0 EV hand to open. So if we're getting flattered too much by the button, we're not getting enough folds that this hand needs to be profitable. Queen's going to be calling one versus small. Not too happy about it, just kind of exploitatively. I think that's very value heavy. But I think our hand's just a bit too strong. He can potentially be value betting a hand like tens for small. And yeah, we're just going to be check folding river. Yeah. I was tempted to fold turn. But off video, I might have even folded turn there. It's just so value heavy when he goes a third there. It's also just a terrible size to be using. He should be really polar on that turn. Jacks, we're going to actually flat some of the time and we roll very passive. So we will. I'm going to add another zoom. Oh. Let me sort this out with the USB. Hoping that sorted it. I think we just have to pure continue this against the third. I think I'm going to fold having a 7 in my hand, blocking some of the bluffs. I'm out of time back here as well, so I'm going to reset this. Sorry, I've always got software issues. It seems recently. Not ideal, but what can you do? I'm going to raise this 4-5 like a lot using a large size. We're basically saying we have 2 pair. Or better here. You're going to start off with a check here with the king 10. Ace 9 can definitely do some check raising. On a 97, I'm just going to check call. This 5-4, I think we want to check turn now. We have like betting and getting jammed on would just be too disastrous for this hand, so I don't think we can actually bet. That is a pretty damn clean river. Ace 9, we're going to be calling. Oh my, I've got no time back, for fuck's sake. I think I'm going to block river here, running out of time everywhere. Gonna go for a huge bet here with the 4-5. Could have maybe even jammed. Probably should have just jammed. Very much running out of time all over the show. This was a small mistake. This isn't meant to open button, and it definitely shouldn't open button. Nice, we get called though. When the big blind's playing too many hands. So yeah, definite mistake opening that queen 8. I'm gonna three bet this more often. If this guy's a thinking player, he's gonna be opening wider, given the there is a tight recreational player in the blinds. So I'm gonna give him some credit and assume he's opening wider, and therefore I'm gonna kind of three bet my mixes quite aggressively. And what happened with that 4-5? What did I get called by? Ace 9. Definitely an ambitious call by the Ace 9. But I am repping very thin. Although I do have a lot of 4-5 combos. So I'd typically see bet this for 15%, but against recreational, I'm just gonna kind of size my hand a little bit more. We don't get to overbet on this card. In fact, I think Kings wants to check back a tiny bit in theory on a 76. Thing is, I'm not sure if this guy's a reg, so I'm not going to worry about checking back Kings here and balancing. Just gonna bet because I think it's the highest EV play in a vacuum, and until I know this guy's a decent reg, I'm not gonna kind of worry about balancing. Very nice turn here. We actually do mix some calls here with ace king offsuit, and we roll one of those just calls. I'm just going to be calling flop with our ace king. Don't see any other option. Definitely no leads on this turn. Easy check here with the ace 3. This will free bet low frequency, not quite 30% of the time. And hopefully that's a good river on the top left. I'm going all in. I'm pretty confident when he goes this size with my hand. How much time back do I have? 12 seconds, okay. Gonna use some of that time bank because I have some hands that want to bluff here. 9-6 suited's one of them. And I'm not gonna find a snap jam of those. Gonna be taking my time to think about it. So in the same vein, I want to take my time with value. Jacks with a diamond, very much mostly going to check back, occasionally mixing a bet, which I do roll. Maybe this hand just wants to pure check, I'm not sure. This guy goes for the limp 3-bet. Even though he has very aggressive stats, I think I'm going to fold ace jack offsuit. I also only had about 6 hands on the guy. Just going to fold 4s against this huge 3-bet. And especially when he's short stacked. Just going to flat this ace queen. This 10-8 is actually going to 3-bet sometimes. It's a good c-bet size for this board from our opponent here, who I believe is a video watcher. Pinged me a message in chat the other day saying nice videos. I think our 10-8's mixing. On a 32, I'll continue. Against this guy who's playing just too many hands, I'm not going to play theory here. I'm just going to bet my king queen. This is pretty uncomfortable. What I like is that you bet big on the turn, and a lot of people don't bet. Yeah, I think I am actually going to find a call here. My thinking being a lot of people, after they bet flop half there, aren't going to bet large on the turn with a lot of their pocket pairs. So in this case, my read was wrong. But I think it's a pretty good read against pool. I feel like this will check raise very occasionally. Actually kind of like a lead here with the 10-7. Gonna go for it. I'm gonna overturn. Queen 8, I think I'm just folding turn. I think I'm gonna check back and try and just induce some mistakes from my opponent with my pocket tens. And now I'm just going to bet small. And apparently I'm lagging out down here now. And that's not the river we wanted. Hopefully he just has pocket sevens. Or that. Yeah, not quite sure what's happening. Clearly lagging out on the bottom there. On a 23, I will open this 5-6. Yeah, facing all sorts of software issues lately, especially since Stars have updated the auto rebuy for UK players. I've just been facing a ton of software issues. It's quite frustrating. Probably out of time bank again now as well. Interesting lead here. think I'm calling with my back doors. That's one of the back doors. I should probably actually size up here, given I'm getting flattered so much from the button. Yeah, I think I should probably even 3x, just given how this guy's playing. I'm actually going to fold my 5-6. I think R5 is very rarely live there. Feels kind of weird folding pair and a flush draw, but I think in that situation with that pair and that flush draw, I don't mind it. I think I am just... no, ranges are much tighter here. I won't range bet. I'll check this hand sometimes. I feel like this hand will definitely call some of the time. I feel like maybe even... I feel like around half the time I'm going to call this and then also potentially call some rivers. Here I'm just going to block. Trying to think what's higher EV. Blocking. I think checking and letting him bluff is actually going to be higher EV than blocking to try and get a call from a 9. Okay, he bets the 9 himself. So I definitely like check if he's betting the 9 himself. I think after we call turn, we're just going to be calling river here. Not very happy about it. Yeah, if he's betting a 9 himself, then check's very clearly the best play. Don't think we have a 3-bet 7-3. It wouldn't shock me if we did though. Right, how long has the video been? Just over half an hour. Go for a little longer. I'm actually going to raise this a little bit. We roll that a little bit. Not doing this very often. Against what I'm presuming is recreational, I'm just going to play my hand. Not my range. Going to check range here with the king queen. And just going to give up my 7-3. And interesting whether to bluff river or not. I prefer diamonds. Very much prefer diamonds. I'd also prefer to just have some cards that are just more blocking his king x and 10x a bit more. So I think I'm just going to give this one up. I think blockers are going to be more important than showdown value here when it comes to constructing the bluffing range, and that's really annoying he has that hand. Timed out here. I think I would have given up anyway. Against this, do I call? I think I have a call here with my king queen against this size. That, like, he only has to have a hand like queen jack, king jack, jack 8. Oh no, I'm out of time for fuck's sake. This is ridiculous. Oh, I'm tilted now. I'm tilted now. I'm gonna call it there. That's really tilted me. I was definitely gonna call that king queen. There's just enough combos in his range that we beat, like any spades, any queen jack, king jack. Don't mind a bluff catch with this Jack 10 either. Or do I? Yeah, no, the Jack's actually not that amazing. We block a fair few of the hands that are actually going to follow through on the river there with the Jack of Diamonds. We only block one combo of straights because he doesn't have. Yeah, we block one combo of straights with Jack 8 of Diamonds, which isn't going to bet the turn for large all that often unless he's very aggressive, which I don't think this player is. And then we block a bunch of the bluffs he will have, like the Queen Jack offsuits, mostly. That I think, and like his Queen Jack, where he has the Jack of Diamonds rather than the club or spade, especially when he doesn't have the club, are going to be some of his most common follow throughs. So I actually don't love this Jack of Diamonds blocker. Though the Ten of Hearts is very good, especially the Ten of Hearts where we block the maximum amount of suited two pairs. Right, I'm going to set out in the blinds. Frustrating day with the software. Yeah, I've been getting really annoyed with Star Software recently. It's I hadn't had issues with Stars whatsoever software wise for like 5 years, and then in the last like 3 months, it's just deteriorated so much for me. Just gonna start off with a range bet here, especially when we use 2.5x. He has so many trashy hands in his range that are gonna have to just fold this flop when I bet small. I think actually a nice hand to be bluffing river here. I think I'm just always using this one. We'll sometimes go small, sometimes big. Again, I think this is actually a mistake opening King Jack offsuit under the gun with this guy in the table. So making some plays I'm not 100% a fan of as well. So definitely a time to consider ending this session. I think a small bet's just going to perform best in a vacuum here, although in theory I very much like checking with a lot of my range, if not all of my range here. And I'm just going to give up. And let it go. Cool. Bit of an annoying session now. I think I played okay. Definitely a couple of mistakes pre-flop. Given like not mistakes in terms of like the charts, but in terms of like adjusting to the table I'm on. Like when we have a player like this on the table, we definitely want to be adjusting pre-flop and not just going with what the charts say. So I perhaps wasn't paying enough attention, and then yeah, the software issues have definitely tilted me. I don't get tilted at playing just at software. Probably the main reason I've stayed on Stars for the last few years. I'm just addicted to their software, but if it keeps having as many issues as I've had recently, then might start playing some other sites because it's just been horrendous recently. It really has been awful, and I can't even use my stars caption anymore. But yeah, I'm gonna stop ranting and end the video. Cheers for watching. See you guys soon. Bye.